Guys, so this is your favorite girl, Sharon, from Beading Crush, and we are going to talk about interesting things that concerns us beaders. And as usual, we are going to talk about beading things that make us happy. So let me know if this is something you want to be interested about. So let us get there. Anyway, as usual, let me cancel. Hold on just a moment, please. Okay. So let me know where you are watching us from, and let's just share this one. So today, we are going to talk about living on a budget and how we actually make this one happen. Yes, that's what we are going to talk about today. Okay, welcome, Beading family. Welcome back to my channel, and in this beginner, as usual, this can benefit both beginners, both beading lovers, and as well as every other beading enthusiast. So in this channel, we'll create beginner jewelry, we'll create stunning beaded pieces without stress, without pressure, and without also a big wallet, you understand? So, and I've made a couple of beads for some time now. For the past few weeks, I've been making some beads, and I felt I should share some. This is another bead that I made. I give you glory, Lord. Hello, hi, welcome to my live section. So in this session, we are going to talk about bidding on a budget, and um I hope that you'd join us and enjoy the fun. We are a bidding family, and in this channel we make stunning pieces that I want to make sure that this is working. Please, if it's not working, let me know, please, in the comment section. Yeah, so we make stunning beaded pieces, and we just try to have fun. It's a way of catching fun, is a way of therapy, and is a way of um just recalibrating. Yes. So let me know, what are your concerns, your challenges, especially if you're a bidding enthusiast. Let me know what are your concerns, your challenges, the things that your suggestions too, things that you want us to work on, and perhaps in the comment section would address them. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. So let us quickly get into the um gist of today. So today we are going to talk about how we, make it happen, how we create beaded pieces, stunning beaded pieces without really breaking the bank, without a very big wallet, without pressure, without so much stress. You understand? Yeah. So we are talking about that, and it's super practical and it's close to my heart. So we are talking on budget beading. So it's not all the time that you have the money to finance some of the things you have. In fact, presently, most of the beads that I have here, I didn't just break my bank to get them. I had to buy on a budget. Yes, I had to buy on a budget. And beautiful things also, simple things also make money. So it's all about identifying your heart and identifying what you are working on. If you can pick beautiful color combos that really resonate with you and resonate with your audience, then you can really make gorgeous and stunning pieces. So without spending too much, we are just talking about how to create beautiful, stylish, and gift-worthy pieces. So you would want to, at the end of the day, give your loved ones the piece that you made. You don't want to just leave them hanging. There is one I made a while ago, a, a very beautiful, stunning earring. Is a stud. Well, it's a big stud. And you know, cameras don't do this justice because this right is so beautiful. It's made with pearls, gold accent, seed beads, white seed beads, and this combo white and neutral tones. Yeah, so after making it, I really enjoyed the process though. So if you've ever felt like bidding is getting too expensive for you, and with the tools that you have to buy, everything, welcome. This is the right place to be. And let me know if you've let me know how much you spent on a particular beaded piece in the comment section. Maybe we can talk about it. It is not until you spend so much money that you're going to make a beautiful project. You could spend a whole lot and still the project is still nothing, that can catch the the heart, that can, thump the heart. Yeah. Okay. So let me know, do you have a story to share when you felt that bidding was too expensive for you? I remember my early days. Actually, then I don't used to spend. Um, I think I wanted to just get. I wanted to get every color, every bead in every color. I wanted to do that. Yes. If you go to the market and you see all these beautiful colors, it will seem as if you can't help getting everything all at once. So it was like your budget is not aligning with your desire, right? So you have no choice but to say you have no choice but to pause at a certain level, else you realize that you'll be owing sometimes because of beads, colorful beads, and so many other things. You realize that you'll be owing. So if you're not very careful, right, the likelihood that you owe will be is very possible. So because of this, whenever you are going to market, you have to write out the colors, the essential colors that you need, that you want. Then you now put miscellaneous. You understand? You put miscellaneous, the things that you would love to have. You add a little amount to it so that in case you see them, you buy them and you also don't feel guilty. My wallet that time was saying, Madam, calm down because you just wanted to get all the colors at once. But then it was frustrating, right? Watching so many, especially when you come online and you want to make a certain beaded project and you see so many new colors, so many bead shapes, so many beads, that stunning ones that they are bringing out. Oh, claps, different shapes of claps. But then you realize that you're on a budget and you are trying to manage your resources. You can't just afford those things. With time, over time, you realize that even if you go to market, you get the little ones you can afford for that season, you can always go to market again to get other things. Better things not the finish. That's the mantra I have always employed to keep me in check so that I don't overspend. Okay. So you can still create stunning pieces over time. I've learned this. You can create stunning pieces without really spending so much. If you don't have this, you can um you can get upcycled materials, you can get local beads, get affordable tools. And today I want to share with you on that. Yeah, the first um the first challenge I had bidding on a budget was claps, because claps, you need to get the ones that are tarnish free, you needed to get the ones that are trendy, and you needed the ones that are not too difficult for the customer you have in mind to wear. So it was my biggest challenge then, was getting the right clasps for the right project. And I didn't have those things available because they were a bit on the expensive side. Hook and clasps was really, so I had to use this, and it has worked over time. I had to use ear hooks. So my intention was, as far as you're getting the particular ear hook that is tarnish free, you can always do whatever you want to do. You can always recreate it. That was my intention. So what I did was, first of all, um, I had to employ accents. Okay, you see this bead. This is the hook and clasp I employed. So I used the an accent, and it's tarnish free. I used an accent with the loop. I made a bead as a hook, as a loop. So you can make it like this. You can now clip it. You see, that was how I was able to make this one. And you see how creative it is. It looks so fine, so chic. So that is the first one I made. Now the second one I made was I used I used jump rings and ear hooks. You know all the simple ear hooks that you have around. So jump rings and ear hooks. Let me see if I can see. Let me check my beading tray and see if I can see some other ones here. The things I was able to use to, recreate my hook and clasp. As I told you, that was a challenge. Oh, meanwhile, I needed to share with you so far on the journey on what I have been working on. The last live section we had, I was still on it, but so far this is what I've done. So I've added my accents to it. This is I'm here to conclude it though. So I added a lobster, a love clasp, magnetic clasp. Then oh, this is another one, button. Buttons, you can use buttons for your hook and clasp. I think I've talked about it some time before. You're asking me where I'm from. I'm from Nigeria, factory. Yes, you're asking me. Anyway, so let's continue, right? Yes. So this is what I'm working on, right? So I had to add some findings on it. I like droppings as my mode of embellishment. And I added, three major things I added here. The first one is the droppings. The second one is the loops on the netting stitches, and the last one are the galvanized rings on the body. So that is so far what I've done. Yes. So as I told you, I use buttons. So I buy buttons as my flap or hook of choice. And the secret to getting these things are, you just have to get very fanciful buttons. Holly is saying hi. Patrick is saying, where are you from? Holly, hi too. I'm truly grateful that you are here. And I want to still ensure that this is working. I'm grateful that you're here, and I am making this video from Nigeria, Abuja precisely. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me and watching my live section. Oh, this is another fanciful and beautiful piece. Oh yeah, this is handmade. I made this one myself. You can work with anything on a budget. You do not have to break your bank before you know achieve before you achieve a certain interest. As far as you have the bead of choice in mind, the secret to getting the a stunning design is in the colors that you are choosing. So as far as you choose a beautiful color, forget it. You are going to make a very fanciful design. Yes. Anyway, so that is that. Okay, let's continue, right? Now, you know, there are a few challenges too that you would face when you are working on a budget because you are trying to maximize the little resources you have, and minimize any expense, right? So there are few challenges, and there are also budget friendly solutions that we can share. Now, the first challenge that we always have here is, especially when the beads and the tools are often expensive. If they are too expensive, there are few solutions that you can employ. You know, because that I have worked on this, because I've experienced it, I've been in it. So it's easier for me to share this, and easier for me to share the few things that I have experienced over time, right? Let me put on one of the bracelets I made, and I am loving it. So perhaps I will use this one to to give you an example. This is one I made. From my designs, you know I love dropping beads. So I kind of find them fanciful and exciting the way they move. Then, when you're making beads, you will experience some challenges. So the first thing first is, when you see that the beads and the tools are too expensive, do not fret. You Once you go to your local market, um you see some local material that are more cheaper to get. You see some local go to some go to your local market or wholesale beading shops. You see some cheaper materials that you can get things from, instead of just insisting on going to those big ones. You understand? That is the first thing to do. Now the second one is, you have to reuse the beads that you have used from previous projects that maybe at the long during the time you were working on it, it didn't you couldn't finish it. So you may need to reuse it, or you may need to get beads from old accessories. Let's say these accessories, you are no longer wearing them, so you may need to remove them from those old projects and reuse. So this is another way of trying to minimize expense that that you supposedly will incur when you're working on a project. Then you also look for, I think that is possible. There may be some project swap groups that you could join. If you go to Facebook and you're a bead lover, check and search under groups. You now say face craft, beading, bead and beading swap group, or beading swap your beads, or bead lovers, stuff like that. So on the comment section, you have to tell them that you want to swap, and you say, just a moment, I need to tell the children to shut up. Okay, okay, it's another day. Please, no ball. No ball. Please, inside. No ball. No, I'm working. No ball, please. No ball. I told you people no ball. Carry it, please. Don't do your assignment, please. No ball now. Oh, so sorry. Oh, okay. I needed to shush the children so that they can go and take a nap. Okay, so the next challenge is um you need every tool to start. Sometimes you complain that the tools that you need to start your first video project is not enough. So you just want to have every tool to start. But the reality of it is that you don't really need to have every tool to start a project. You can start with the basic ones, and there are three basic tools that you need. You need your pliers, you need your scissors, and you need your beading needle. So you really don't need to have every tool. So so once you have gotten this, you will now have to substitute the bead mats with a towel. Let's say you don't have a bead mat like this. Let's say you don't have a bead mat like this. So you need to substitute. Then you need to have a paper clip, and you know I'm getting a little distracted because the children are a little uh in the background. Okay, I may need to pause this live section. I told you people to take that ball inside, right? And all of you inside now. Everybody go inside now. So now that is that. Now the third challenge that we are going to talk about. I think I need to be fast because I'm a little distracted from all this. So now I have like 15 minutes more to talk about this. So sometimes when you finish your project, you may feel like the pieces that you use, the beads that you use that are cheap because presumably you got a cheap project, you got a cheap bead, so you will not be feeling that the beads that you use are cheap. Sometimes it happens to me. I'll start second guessing myself, like until I finish like this one. I can't see myself working on it. I don't know why, but I just feel like it's not giving me what I want. It's cheap, right? So what I do is I get some high quality pieces like pearls. Pearls are quite expensive, so I buy a little of them and now mix them. Two, I use some neutral spacers like accents like silver, gold, black to elevate the look. For instance, if you notice in this one, I tried to elevate the look with you see, I tried to elevate the look with the pieces that I have. Then also you need to keep the design simple, you need to keep them symmetry. You just let it have a flow, a structure, right? So style comes from structure and not from price. So you need to align your designs in a symmetry. Let it have a certain flow. So once anyone looks at it, the person understands what you're trying to, get from it. So that is one of it. Now the next one, which is the final challenge we are going to talk about, okay, sorry, I got a call, so I had to like okay, sorry, I got a call, so I had to like attend to it. So sometimes, right, as I was saying, it is very possible that you feel that your bead, let me reiterate the other challenge. Sometimes you just, feel like the beads that you're working on are not, that the beads that you're working on, that they are not, very expensive looking. So my suggestion, what I normally do is I buy pearls. Pearls are quite expensive. Original pearls are quite expensive. So once I buy pearls, I mix them with broken beads. I mix them with um you know all these big oddly shaped beads. Like there are some. Okay, for instance, this one I had to wrap these beads. I had to wrap it because I felt that it's not giving me what I wanted. So I had to wrap. So that is that. So you people are talking, oh, I told you I'm busy here. So I had to wrap it. So that is that. And you know, at the end of the day, you need to just mix different kinds of beads to get your design, your desired taste, and mm, and feel satisfied. So then another thing too is that there are some issues that we have when you're working on a budget. Sometimes you feel like you cannot afford to experiment or make mistakes because you know that is a bid that you have. And once you start working on it, if you spoil it, you don't spoil and be that. So you cannot afford to make mistakes using that bid, especially if you're working for a customer and the customer has paid for every of the bids completely. So you need to work with it. None must spoil. You cannot afford to say, let me do tom bomb, right? So that is something I do. Before I start, I first of all I get old buttons or I get seed beads or I practice with the old ones I have already with me. So after then too, I sketch all these projects, sketch it on a paper. After sketching, gives me an idea of how it's going to look like. Then and I focus on few techniques that I know that I am good at. So using these few techniques, it will help me to minimize wasting this project. For instance, the my go-to technique all the time when I'm working is right angle weaving and stringing. These are two basic techniques I always use. This is stringing. Once you're done preparing your beads, all it needs is to just string them and tie both ends and you are done. Then right angle weave. This is right angle weave. It's very easy to get right angle weave. Just since right angle weave is something that is your best, is your go-to technique. It's very easy to use it as an example to get what you want. So sometimes your most creative design come when you have limited options. Have you thought of that? Has it happened to you before? Yes, when you overthink things, maybe because you have so many things, so many beads to play with. If you don't have beads to play with, you are just on a budget. Out of the little, your limitation, you bring out your best. That's where the magic happens. You know, this is something that happens to us. It's not like you planned it. You're even managing the little one you have, and all of a sudden you just realize that you are making, you know, exceptional pieces. So let me know the lessons that you have learned so far. Let me know what you have done so far. Share if it's possible, you share your best pieces that you have done if you're a bead lover, and share with us. Let us just share the fun and encourage each other. Okay, here's what I have learned. Anyway, you don't need to have a fancy studio. When I started, I felt I need to get to a fancy studio and all that. I work with this. I have a beading tray. Every time I need to work, I put on my book. It's not yet out. Anytime I want to work, you people, can you keep quiet? So calm down now. It's not yet out. So here is what I have learned. You don't need to have a fanciful studio. You don't need to have different colors, 50 colors of beads. You just need to be creative. You need a few smart tools, and you need to be passionate about what you're working on. Some of my best sellers came from limited options that I have. And because I'm working on a limit, I bring out my best. Somehow you have to push yourself, push your limits to get the best thing. You know, there is so much in you that you have never tapped. It's just you feel that you must get to that bottom pot. Really, that bottom pot may be, you might identify that bottom pot just from not having much, you know. So as far as your design is neat, clean, and simple, then wearable, you have no problem. So now let us wrap up and conclude this. Here's a challenge I want to share with us today. I would like you to create a beaded piece using only what you already own. You don't need to, as I said, you don't need to break the bank to have this. Use the beads that you already own. Now post it or save it with the title Budget Beauty. Yes. Now think about how to reaccessorize this project that you have already. Think about how to, you know, add more things to it, make it shiny. In this one, it was just a very simple piece. This is a replica of it. It was just a very simple piece. The difference between this one, as you can see, is one has stones in it. I wanted to add stones to make it sharp. This other one has pearl. This one has, this one is smaller and it has ivory pearls, right? So but this one is, it was bigger. I was still trying to experiment. I was experimenting using these beads, so I decided to make a smaller one, and this one became an earring. Along the line, I made other ones. I made other ones. I added wings to it. I was just experimenting. I added wings to it. Then while I made those ones, I now made the one I added wings to. I added wings and got a way of closing the wings round the bead. It was just me trying to experiment to see, what will come out of it if it looks good. If you notice, I have not even finished it to date. It was just something I was working on. So start building your bead budget box, reusable tools, leftovers, local finds, the things you have. There are some local beads in your community. Use them to form an aesthetic and start creating beautiful things. So let me know in the comment section if this was, if you're going to try a beading on a budget this week. And remember, creativity is a currency, right? You just need to be creative, to be passionate, have few smart tools, and you don't need to have so many colorful beads. Just have the ones you have already with you. And budget doesn't limit beauty, rather it unlocks it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. See you in the next live. I needed to get this off my chest. I have about 3 minutes to conclude today's live section. So let me know if you have any comments, if you have any suggestion, if you have any challenge that you're passing, and let's discuss it. For now, have fun. Cheers. Auf Wiedersehen. Bye.